What he hadn't known is that my sister was already in my ear being like, I don't like him. Like, something's not right. I remember her sitting me down into the relationship and like crying, having a breakdown. And she's like, I don't recognize my sister. Like, what is going on here? I was one.
Guys, you know when couples have their page on internet, TikTok, YouTube, wherever, and they post a little clip about their lives, especially the women's page, the wife's page, the girlfriend's page, when they post something very short clip, like 15 seconds, 5 seconds, and we're like, that man is toxic. You need to leave the relationship. We the online in-laws, we have to judge. We start judging. You have to leave this man, or they post another one, and we're like, oh, the way the man is looking at you, he's going to beat you one day. We are telling the women, and when they come online to tell us, oh, you guys don't get it, you guys don't get it. So the crazy part is, this particular woman, it has happened to her before. She said she saw the red flags, and people were actually telling her, but then she doesn't understand. Like, it's like she didn't understand why she had to leave him, because everything that he was doing then was making sense. It was later on she now realized that she was in a toxic relationship. Let me show you all this clip, then we'll come back and discuss.
Of the women who came on the internet and posted a video of my husband, and the internet was like, what the this was a while ago. This was COVID times, right? Okay, so it's COVID, and we're at home. I think we had McDonald's, and my ex-husband was feeding my son. And now he was joking, in my opinion, joking, right? Now, I had been in this relationship for 5 years at this point. So he's joking with my son and he's like cursing. But what he was saying, I thought was funny because, again, I had been with this person for 5 years. And I'm not going to give you any contextual on the background yet, but I post the video and I start getting comments from people. And this was the first video I'd ever posted on TikTok before I ever had a platform, before I thought of a platform on TikTok was even a concept in my brain. So I post it and I start getting comments of like, why would he talk to your son this way? Like, this is not funny. Why are you guys laughing? All this stuff started coming in, and I think it was like 4 or 5 comments deep. And I remember going to him and being like, hey, people are saying this on the internet. Like, I'm starting to question things, like, this is weird. And he was like, why would you care what people on the internet have to say? Like, they don't understand the context, they don't understand the this, they don't understand the that. Like, people on the internet are just miserable. So the gaslighting ensues, right? But what he hadn't known is that my sister was already in my ear being like, I don't like him. Like, something's not right. I remember her sitting me down into the relationship and like crying, having a breakdown. And she's like, I don't recognize my sister. Like, what is going on here? Like, she didn't come to my wedding. And side note, I tried to call my wedding off. Like, we were getting married in January, and I think I sat down in like December and I was like, hey, like, you're unhappy, I'm unhappy. Why are we getting married? Why are we doing this if we're clearly not in a good place? And I don't think it's going to end well. And he again, the gaslight, like, just sobbing hysterically, like, I wanted to do this forever. His words, I wanted to do this forever. Please don't take this away from me. What are we going to tell people? Like, everyone's already planning on coming because we were doing a destination wedding. We end up getting married. But within, like, so it's been a year, 6 months ish, a year since we were married, and I was like, this is not going well. Like we shouldn't have gotten married. This is not going well. He ended up throwing a cup of water in my face. Okay, that was the thing that ended up like ending our marriage. But I say all of this to say that women, when they're in these situations, they don't realize you are so conditioned to their behavior. You are so taught that what is going on is okay. And there were so many times that I checked in with people in my life, and the only person who really ever said anything about him, that not liking him, not agreeing with, like, having any issues with my ex-husband, was my sister. She was quite vocal about it but she had come to stay with us for a couple months, and she literally was is this? Like, you guys are always fighting. Like, this is not healthy. Like, what are you doing? Like, she very much was the only person that was extremely vocal. And now she's my younger sister. So I just assumed, honestly, that she just didn't understand how hard and how much work relationships were. That was the mentality I had in my head, because we were taught from a very young age that if you're a woman, a relationship is work. A relationship is supposed to be you giving. It's supposed to be you meeting this other person. And what I never realized is that I was consistently the one, like, going more and more and more. When I see these women posting things on the internet, like, oh, my husband packed my lunch and he put dog food in it, and her thinking it's funny and it's a joke, she probably actually thinks it's funny and it's a joke. But not only that, but everyone around her is also somewhat enabling this behavior. And one of the things that I've said a lot of the times is if you're coming out of a toxic or an abusive relationship, you really need to look at the people around you. And a lot of people take issue with that because you don't have a lot of community around you after you come out of those relationships, because they've alienated a lot of people. But the only people that they won't alienate away from you are people who enable their behavior. My ex-husband really loved my mom. Really loved my mom. And now me and my mom have made a lot of strides in our relationship. We've worked a ton on our relationship. I've gone to therapy. She's gone to therapy. We talk every day. We talk a lot about our relationship, a lot about childhood. But she was one of the people that was like, a relationship is a lot of work. Like, she convinced me to stay with him a year longer. I had friends around me at the time that convinced me that what was going on was very normal, because in their mind, it was very normal. And those were people that my ex-husband had no issue with, because they enabled his bad behavior. So when these people come on the internet and they post videos and they don't understand why you're getting upset, it's because everyone in their life has normalized shitty men's behavior, including themselves. And anytime that they've gone to someone for advice about their relationship, like, oh, we're having issues, they're getting gaslit by not only the man, but everyone in his close circle, all his friends and family, if he has any remaining in his close circle, and all of her friends and family that have chosen to stand by this guy. And generally, not a hard fast rule, but generally, if you're someone who's in a relationship with a man like that and you don't know the signs to look out for it, I would guess that the people around you, your friendships and things like that, they're also kind of down that manipulative, toxic rabbit hole as well. I mean, I had a friend she was a personal training client who became a friend, and I remember going to her and I was like, hey, I'm having all these issues, da 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 da. Her and my mom were the two people that were like, that's just a relationship, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of this, it's a lot of give, you have to give, because that's what they experience in their own life. Now, after I ended things with this man and me and this girl are going somewhere one time, she was talking about her sister and how her sister's husband basically was going to cheat on her if she didn't have intimacy with her husband. Basically, women should expect to be cheated if they're not having intimacy with their husband. And now, me being the wife that was not having intimacy with her husband, I was sitting there going, well, what is he doing that makes her not want to have intimacy with him? Like, most people who are in relationships and are, heterosexual, they want to have intimacy with their partners. And if they're not wanting to have intimacy with their partners, there's generally something going on that's making that happen. Whether it's the labor in the household, whether it's financial struggle, like whatever's going on, you generally want to connect with the person that you are in love with. And if you're not wanting to do that, there's generally a specific reason. And I remember sitting this and she goes, no, like, if a man cheats on you, that's your fault. And I remember sitting back in our friendship and kind of like starting to separate myself in that moment, because I was like, oh, this kind of mentality is not healthy for me to be around, especially after leaving my ex-husband. And now what I found is when I would lean into her and say, hey, I'm struggling with this, trying to rely on her as a friend, she would start to try and control my behaviors. She would tell me, you need to go and become this type of job. You need to go back to school for this. You need to do this. And she was very, very, very controlling, even in a friendship. And I realized, oh, I've allowed people around me who have the same pattern of behavior as my ex-husband. So it took rooting out not only the relationship I had with my ex-husband, but also reestablishing the relationship I have with my mom, reestablishing the relationship I have with my sister, and then also rooting out all of these friendships that I thought were good friendships. She wasn't the only one. Almost every single close girlfriend I had around me was perpetuating abuse patterns and or victims of abuse themselves. And when I would try and be like, hey, this is not healthy, they could not see it, did not want to see it. So when you see these women coming online and then they get defensive over their husband, it's because they most likely are getting this backlash, and then they're going to the people in their lives and saying, hey, am I not seeing this clearly? And the people around them are also not seeing this clearly. That's just the reality that we live in currently. Emotional abuse is really not talked about. It's really not dissected a lot. And a lot of the times people think that emotional abuse is not the same as physical abuse, or like even when I tell people like, oh, he threw a cup of water in my face, so many men and so many women will be like, that's not physical abuse. It is physical abuse, and the physical abuse started with him throwing remotes and slamming doors. Physical intimidation is a form of physical abuse, even if they're not directly putting their hands on you. And when I look back at the relationship, he taught me how to do Muay Thai and kickboxing. And I remember we would go to the gym and do Muay Thai and kickboxing, and he would hold pads for me because he had been doing it his whole life. And he would hold pads for me, and then he would ask me to hold pads for him. And that man would take out every ounce of anger and frustration he would have on those pads, to the point where people in the gym would be looking at us like, what the am I doing? And at the time I was like, oh, he's so strong, he's so this, he's so that. No, that man was in a way me publicly. even though he wasn't physically putting his hands on me, he was putting them on pads, I was still taking the brunt of kicks and punches. So even this conversation, it's about dog food in a bag, but it's really about emotional abuse. And it's of the fact that a lot of people don't really realize that emotional abuse is just the stepping stones into physical abuse. There was a guy, I believed he worked for the FBI, and he came on and he said, if your partner calls you a bitch, he will put his hands on you. And if he'll put his hands on you, he will. It may take him 20 to 30 years, but we always hear of these people saying, oh, I never thought he was capable of that. I never thought he could do that. Well, the signs were always there. We're just told that they're not. And it starts with simple things like putting dog food in your girlfriend's lunch as a joke. A joke. I myself get frustrated with these women because they will come on the internet and they will put out these things, and then when they get pushback, they start getting offended. And the reality of the situation is it might be the starting point of their divorce. I've seen women come on the internet, and I want to say that when people on the internet were calling out the behavior that I thought was very normalized because I was in it every day, it might have taken me, 6 months, a year to really recognize it. And it's still something that you years later realize, oh, that was not normal. Which is why I do think we should be calling out when women post things like this. Because even if it's not the woman posting it who has the realization, it's the woman seeing the comments. It's the woman realizing, oh, it's not normal for my partner to hate me.
There's a saying that you cannot advise a woman that is in love. Okay? No matter what you tell a woman is in relationship, no matter what you tell her about a man, they don't see it. They don't even, I feel like they choose not to see it. It's not that they are not seeing it. They just decide and choose not to see it and choose to ignore it, or they feel like it's not a big deal. It's a normal thing. Look at that, talking about our husband then was close to the mom, and the mom is always telling her that relationship is not easy. Relationship, you have to understand each other, and that is it. When the people around you are not giving you the good advice, they just come and tell you you need to sacrifice, you need to be patient, you need to understand. Oh, even if it slammed the door or you punched the wall, does not mean that it's going to beat you. No, you're exaggerating. It's not that deep. Stop listening to women on TikTok or women on YouTube that advise you to leave your man. Most of them are single and lonely. Don't listen to them. When people around you are telling you something like that, even you, I don't think it's easy for these women to easily understand the kind of relationship that they are in. I have a reaction on this video. What do you guys think about this video? Let me know your thought down in the comment section while we watch this reaction together. I'll see you at the end of the videos.
I was one of the women who came on the internet and posted a video of my husband, and the internet was like, what the fuck? I think we had McDonald's, and my ex-husband was feeding my son, and now he was joking, in my opinion, joking, right? So he's joking with my son, and he's cursing, but what he was saying, I thought was funny, because again, I had been with this person for 5 years.
No, you thought it was funny.
My sister was already in my ear being like, I don't like him. Okay. Something's not right. I remember her sitting me down into the relationship and crying, having a breakdown. And she's like, I don't recognize my sister. What is going on here? She didn't come to my wedding.
So you didn't want to get married to the guy. You knew in the video, in this exact video, you just said you knew it wasn't going to work out. Your sister literally did not go to your wedding because she said she did not recognize you. You yourself thought it was funny. And then you're going to say this.
When I see these women posting things on the internet oh, my husband packed my lunch and he put dog food in it, and her thinking it's funny and it's a joke, she probably actually thinks it's funny and it's a joke. But not only that, but everyone around her is also somewhat enabled.
You and her situation are completely different. What her husband did was obviously a joke, right? I would assume not to be rude, but you lack common sense, right? It doesn't take a scientist to know cussing at a child is wrong. It shouldn't take people on the internet to tell you, hey, cussing at a child, what the hell? Y'all's situation is not the same at all. You yourself said that you knew the relationship would not work, but you decided to stay in it. You decided to still get married to the man. 6 months into the marriage, you even said, yeah, we shouldn't have gotten married. Your own flesh and blood sister told you, hey, I don't recognize you no more. What are you doing? I'm not coming to your wedding. And then you're saying that you started to question it when strangers on the internet said, hey, cussing at a child is wrong. That's common sense. Y'all are reaching into the atmosphere. And you even said that you thought it was funny that he was cussing at your kid, which would make you also not a good person at that period in time. Your whole story is just about how you make poor ad decisions. Y'all couldn't be any different. What the hell are y'all yapping about? Y'all gotta stop.
I was one of the women who came on the internet and posted a video of my husband, and the internet was like,
So I feel inclined to speak on this because I'm 29 on my second marriage, but the two men that I married were like polar opposite individuals. So here's some things that your current husband does that your next husband probably won't do. First things first, starting off strong, commenting on your woman's weight under any circumstances, absolutely unacceptable. Big back, big mama, how much or how little they have on their plate, absolutely none of your goddamn business. None of your goddamn business, ever, under any circumstances. Next, calling her a bitch, ever, even if you're joking, like, that's so, you're not embarrassed by that at all, that other people hear you talking like that? Feeling like you need to poke fun at your wife all of the time, like you need to embarrass her in public and even in private, like you feel like you just need to jab at her all of the time to like make yourself feel cool and important. You're a loser. You're not important, unfortunately. And the only reason you need to act like that is because the world has shown you just how mediocre you are and you're doing anything you can to get attention. Next, telling your wife to shut up. Even if you think that's a joke, I don't hear anyone laughing, first of all. Every time you claim you're joking, I don't hear anyone laughing. Ever. Like, even some guys, like, they do it in front of, like, their families. Like, their children. You mean to tell me that your wife, your like, actual real-life wife, you think it's okay to tell her to shut the up? Who raised you deranged fucking psychopaths? Not funny. Jokes are supposed to be funny. You're not funny and you have a small penis. Another thing, spending all of their time in their shop or their garage or like working on project, like all of their free time, they're in there until well after your kids have gone to bed. You know, you're bringing him dinner out there. It's Tuesday and he's drunk. Like, first of all, that man hates you. And second of all, that's unacceptable behavior. Unacceptable behavior. My husband is the definition of front door famous. We literally plan our day around when daddy's gonna pull into the driveway. We can hear him coming from down the road and we are on the porch waiting for him. Every single day. He can't get home to us fast enough. Like, yesterday I asked him to pick up a Walmart order on the way home and he apologized to me. He apologized to me for taking so long. Let's get right into the chronic cheating. So if your man has been literally cheating on you since you guys got together, like, and I'm not talking about like, oh, I caught him texting his friend from high school on Snapchat. Like, no, I'm talking about the men that you've proven, you know, over and over and over again that he's literally having sexual intercourse and like full-blown relationships with other women while he's in a relationship with you. First of all, that man hates you. Second of all, he's gay. I can elaborate further, but I'm not trying to hurt everyone's feelings because this one applies to a lot of you. Also, ladies, just jot this little one down for me. Just jot this down for me real quick. If you are absolutely disgusted by your husband, like you find him to be absolutely atrocious and like you're appalled by his behavior on a daily basis, it is probably because he acts like a child and he's nowhere near ready to be a husband and a father. But also you might be gay. Try that out, sis. If your wife never has any money to herself, like she's literally nothing to live for, can't even go get herself a coffee, but like you have tons of really expensive toys, embarrassing. Embarrassing. You should be ashamed. Your wife should be like a walking billboard for how you take care of her. And if you don't take care of her, I promise you everybody can tell. Everybody can tell. For example, we're remodeling our bathroom and closet right now, and me being the individual that I am, I have this dream for like super bougie, fancy, you know, closet shelves, and they're not cheap. You know, they're not. And my husband is the sole provider. I have my own little side business, but like that's just like my fun money, you know. So we don't, you know, have thousands of extras to dump into it right now. So I suggested to my husband, hey, why don't I just sell my wedding dress? He looked at me like I was crazy, first of all. And I was like, I don't have any emotional sentimentality to this dress. I married you. Like, I was marrying you. I got this ring too. Like, how many more memories do I need? You know, I'm not marrying that piece of fabric. I married you. While I absolutely love my wedding dress, it feels very selfish to hold on to something so expensive that I'll never wear again. He literally stops me and is like, Leah, I will sell my truck before you sell that wedding dress. Like, it's absolutely not happening. It's not happening. That reminds me, I need to bust a piece off for him tonight. Ooh, I love that man. Anyways, pull your shit together. I'm going to convince your wife to leave you. And I will. I will. I've done it before, and I'll do it again. And just so you know, your wife is next.
The first creator that staged the video, I don't think he understand what she meant when she was, talking about or making reference about the woman that her husband packed lunch for her and he added dog food. We've done the video last week, if you remember. Okay. So, the woman was laughing. The wife was laughing. Some people were like, you guys don't get it. They joke a lot. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Those are the tiny little things. So I feel like this the first creator was trying to say you can compare the dog food situation to your husband actually insulting or using curse words on your son and all of that. I feel like what she's trying to say is that sometimes whereby some things might be happening in your relationship, you might be in a toxic relationship, but at that time you don't know. You don't know. You just if it seems funny to you, you're just laughing. It feels like this not a big deal. You guys don't get it. And see, we when these things happen and these women post these things on their page, they post it for us and we judge. Okay, we judge. When we judge, they come later to be like, oh, you guys don't get it, you guys don't get it. It's a loving man, and we get it. The things that we get it, we see the things that they're not seeing, or maybe they see it but they choose not to see it, they choose to ignore it. But at the end of the day, these are the same red flags that will make you still lose the relation or leave the man later on, or end up even getting unalive in that relationship. I feel like some women feel like if a man hates them, or if a man is done with them, or if a man does not want them, it will just be like, you know what, I don't want you, I hate you. I don't think they're going to tell you that he hates you. I don't think they're going to tell you that I'm done with you. A man that does not want you, a man that hates you, is not going to come and tell you. His actions will speak for himself. His actions can tell that he does not like you. He does not want you. He's tired of the relationship. He will do everything possible just for you to go. They will not say it. They will not come and say it. But I feel like women feel like, oh, I'm going to just wait for him to tell me he hates me. Even he will be telling you he loves you so much, he's madly in love with you, but he's doing things that people that hate you does. He hates you. That's what he's trying to tell you. You need to listen. You need to actually look at the actions, not what the words that are coming out from these men, because these men are not truthful with the words that comes out of their mouth. Look at how they treat you, how they behave around you. That tells a lot than what they say. What they say is just BS. How they treat you, their actions matters a lot. So I feel like women always wait. See some women be like, I'm not gonna leave my man because after everything he does, the cheating and all of that, he still comes back home to me because he loves me. No, it's not because he loves you. Like, he doesn't love you. Like, he coming back home to meet you does not mean that he loves you or he wants to be with you, or no. Like, they always want him to say, oh, I'm waiting for my man to tell me he's no longer interested. He's not going to tell you he's no longer interested. You need to leave. You need to know. You need to see these things. And I understand when she was saying that sometimes you might not actually got into that emotional place for you to understand the kind of toxic relationship you're in until later on. Yes, there are a lot of women that are in toxic relationship and they don't get it. Like, sometimes you try to let them see it, like, this is what is going on in your relationship, this is how they think. Sometimes they don't even understand. And this can also happen with their childhood experience, the way they see relationship as they were growing up, their parents, and in fact they see their mom and their dad, maybe they have elder sisters or older ones that have gotten married, and they see the relationship, they see the way everything is, that is how it is, and you're telling them that is not supposed to be so, or that is not how relationship is supposed to be. They won't understand because they're already used to that kind of toxic relationship and they feel like that's like a norm. So when you're trying to tell them what this person is doing doesn't make sense, it shows that he does not care. Leave him, don't marry him, don't do this, don't do that. They don't see it because what do you mean? What are you trying to say? Like, this is a normal thing he's doing. In fact, what he's doing is even funny. Just like the smashing of cake at the wedding, some brides, they laugh. They don't see anything wrong with it. A lot of people were also coming to say there's nothing wrong with it. You all take things too personal. It's just a joke. It's a joke if she wants to laugh, like if it's funny. But it's not funny. She's just laughing because everybody's laughing. You can see she's telling you, she's begging you not to ruin her makeup. She's begging you not to do it. You see the bride telling the groom, don't do this, don't do this, please don't do it, please don't do it. Pam! they'll smash the cake on their face, all the makeup, everything gone. And she'll just have to laugh. But it's not funny. You can tell the joke that is funny when somebody laughs, and a joke that is not funny when somebody laughs, right? So it's not funny. The other ones, they'll push you in the pool. So many crazy stuff that these men do just to make it look like it's a joke, but then it's not. But if you don't see it, like if you're not there mentally, you might not even understand what's going on. You just feel like it's a normal way man and woman supposed to be doing and all of that. But some women will say, my man has never hit me before. My man has never beat me before. He's not a woman beater, but he has punched the wall before. Has he not? He has screamed at you, called you a bitch, like so many words, and jammed the door, slammed the door, you know, and he has never, and it's in your head because he has not physically beat you. You feel like he has not physically beat you. If he has not physically beat you one day, it might take, just as the creator was saying, it might take 20, 30 years or 5 years. He's going to do it one day. And by then, you will start saying, oh, I never expected it. There's nothing about you never expected, because it was giving you signs that this is the way he's going to treat you later on in the future. For a man to punch a wall, for him to any small argument is angry and doing everything like that, it shows the kind of person that he is. So if he beats you one day and slap you, he has already started showing you those little things, but you are like, so far he has not physically beaten me. He has not beaten me. Anyway, you guys, what is your take on this conversation? Let's continue the conversation down in the comment section. Respectfully, as always, check out Mariah Davis, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.